Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Should one avoid the study of the laws of Aveilus, the laws of mourning? On the one hand, it is a legal part of Torah, contains a Masechta in Shas Mayit Katan, contains a large section of the Shulchanaruch in the end of Yeridea, and is a major part of the Jewish life cycle, which contains many laws, details, and customs that people need to be aware of. On the other hand, there exists a superstition that one should avoid learning these laws, God forbid, lest he bring upon a negative occurrence to himself, being that these laws deal with negativity, death, mourning. So it ends up that most people, even those who are learned in halacha, are not learned in this section of halachas. And when, God forbid, when the life cycle of death of a parent arrives at their late age, they are unaware of what to do and are completely ignorant in this section of Jewish law. Is there any truth to this superstition? Should one indeed avoid learning the laws of Aveilus unless it is relevant to him, such as a relative has already passed away, chas v'shalom? Or can he study it like any other section of the Torah HaKadoshah and be aware of the laws if the time arrives? So in truth, this concept and superstition of avoiding learning the laws of Aveilus is recorded in the Sefer Chassidim by Rabbeinu Yehuda HaChassid in letter 261, in which he says that people are not accustomed to learn these sections if their parents are alive. They specifically avoid it, and it's even considered like a meis mitzvah. And the reason that people avoid it is because they have a fear of danger, that if they learn it and they don't take the words properly to their hearts, as Musar Haskell, to become serious about Judaism and religion, then this chas v'shalom can cause danger to them. Furthermore, says the Sefer Chassidim, that just the fact that people look at something as if it's an ayin hara already creates it to become an ayin hara. So even if ideally there is no source or reason to assume that studying these laws can have a negative effect on you, if people view it that way, then it can. As that's what ayin hara is. It's a psychological effect of negativity. Based on this, the widespread custom is that only the rabbi of the town or a potential posek who answers shaylas studies these laws even if his parents are alive. Now, while this is the custom, nonetheless, the poskim discourage it and actually encourage people to ignore the custom and study the laws of mourning. In the words of the Sefer Chassidim, love the mitzvah which is similar to a meis mitzvah, being that no one occupies themselves with it. And he says that studying these laws like Tractate Mayit Katan, which discusses mourning, is considered a meis mitzvah, as no one wants to study it, and therefore it is a great mitzvah for everyone who goes ahead and deals with these laws and studies it. And he writes that you should love those laws that people avoid. He writes that it's similar to a lone daughter who is left unmarried due to her occupation as a seamstress for burial garments, and therefore no one wants to marry her. And he concludes by writing that Mayit Katan approached Hashem and asked him why people avoid studying him, and Hashem replied that indeed it is good to study it. Furthermore, some poskim write that even according to the custom is only to avoid studying it in a public session, such as in the yeshiva seder. However, to study it in private by yourself is not to be avoided. Practically, one who desires to study these laws of Aveilus is allowed to do so, and as we said, the Sefer Chassidim even encourages it. He calls it a meis mitzvah, although he is to daven to Hashem prior to commencing that the study of this section bring no damage to him, that the ayin hara have no effect, and likewise he should try to study it discreetly without publication. Certainly, Rabbanim who must rule on the laws of Aveilus for their congregants and those who ask them shaylas must study these laws, and the above-mentioned custom is not relevant to them at all. The Rebbe indeed encouraged Rabbanim to write and publicize halachas on this subject for the sake of preventing people from transgressing when the time of Aveilus arrives. Some write that the most opportune time to study the laws of Aveilus is actually in the month of Mar Cheshvan, as this month does not contain any holiday and is also the month that Sari Imenu passed away. All the above also applies regarding Maseches Mayit Katan, that some are accustomed to avoid it because it deals with the laws of Aveilus, as we've mentioned. However, practically, the widespread custom to avoid learning the laws of Aveilus is only if you learn it specifically, such as from the Shulchanaruch and the practical laws. However, when you're learning a Seder of Masechtas and you get up to the Tractate of Mayit Katan, then there is no custom at all to avoid doing so, and we are not particular to skip the Masechta, and therefore we learn even Mayit Katan from beginning to end. So to summarize, there is a custom amongst Jewry to avoid learning the laws of Aveilus, due to potential worry of damage occurring to the person due to ayin hara. Nonetheless, practically, the poskim encourage learning the laws of Aveilus and call it a meis mitzvah, and one does not have to abide by the custom if he does not wish to do so. And certainly Rabbanim and Meir Heiraz are obligated in learning the laws of Aveilus, although it should be learned discreetly and not in a public fashion. Regarding learning Maseches Meit Katan, there is no accepted custom to avoid learning it, especially when it's within the Seder of Masechtas that you are learning in the order of Shas.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at www.shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.